We are going live. We should be live. Let's check and see if things are happening. Yeah, so it's showing up on X. Let's see if it's showing up on the arena. Do you have the arena pulled up, Chris?
Look, trying to get it up right now. It doesn't seem to be up just yet, but give it just a minute here. Live streams.
It took a second, but it's also live from the Excova account as well.
Oh, nice. Okay, great. So we're just waiting for the arena.
Yeah.
Everybody's like refreshing.
Yeah.
There's the guy playing Dark Souls. Okay. Let's see. I don't see it yet.
I just liked and shared the Bitcoin L1 stream, so we've got that there too.
Okay, yeah, it says sending data.
We got to get the data to arrive.
We got to get the data to arrive. Yeah, I see where it's working. It's on YouTube. It's on here. It's on. Okay. Yeah, the problem with this is there's really no way to like do a trial run. You know what I mean? It's like you either are doing it or you're not doing it.
Host does not exist.
Yeah. Exactly. What's up, everybody who's tuning in? We're just waiting on this on our broadcast to kick in on the arena. If you are over on arena, so as soon as that kicks in, we'll be ready to get right into it. Yeah, still nothing.
Yeah, still nothing.
Okay, unable to connect. You have the RTMP URL again?
Yeah, I gotta switch over to. Yeah, let me switch over to that. Will I kick you out if I? Let's see.
No, it's just that one channel.
Okay, I'm bringing it up now. I'm gonna post it.
Oh yeah, are you gonna drop it in the Telegram?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So here's the URL and the key. Sorry, folks, bear with us. We're just getting our stream situated. Thank you for joining. We got to connect wires. We're running wires right now across the ocean.
Yeah, it's not working.
Big deal.
Unable to connect. Should we? I mean, if you have the, I mean, you can use authentication. I don't know if that'll make a difference though.
Oh, so it's giving you an error.
Yeah, it's throwing an error. I'm trying to do it again, and it says sending data. The only other thing we can do is authentication. You can use authentication, but it should work just with the stream key and that URL.
Virginia says, "Send the data, bro." We're trying, bro. Trying to send the data.
I know.
Crypto Next says take the cartridge out, blow on it, and put it back in.
Yep.
I really wish I could. If I use, so we've never done a stream to the arena yet. We're using Restream. Use authentication. Do we need the username and password for that? I mean, I don't think.
So what you do is you log into X with the BTCL OneNet, and then you'll want to go and log into Arena from there, and that should get you authenticated in there, and then probably go back to Restream and then click authentication. As long as it's in the same browser, and it should be all connected up.
Average says it's easier to launch a blockchain than a simulstream.
That's facts. I could have had three chains launched from scratch.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Also, he said he likes my background. Thank you. I see on X we've got some new viewers. Just as a recap, we are working on getting this stream to also syndicate to the arena. So just a few moments, please.
Yeah, we're going to give it one more try. And then if not, then we're just going to do it on the arena. I mean, I'm sorry, on X. Okay, guys. Fingers crossed. See if it works. Yeah, no go. getting the same error message. So sorry, Arena. Sorry, Jason. I don't know what's going on with this. That being said, I think we should just jump right into it.
Mhm.
There's some more.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So we'll have to figure that out for the next one. If there's a way, we may just do a separate demo on Arena at a later date. But regardless, I think we got like 100 viewers right now, so we should just get right into it. Okay, if you guys are just joining, we are Chris, Candace, and I. We are doing a demo of Bitcoin L1 today, and then our new Bitcoin payment processor called Satly, which is powered by Excova. So I think before we demo Satly, we're going to talk about Bitcoin L1. What is it? Show you guys some cool links, how you can get involved in testnet, how you can get involved and earn BitPoints, what are BitPoints, what's the future of BitPoints, and how that's all going to play out. And then we'll get into Satly and give you guys an opportunity to start testing it out. So the public beta is live, so we'll be doing a screen share. You just can't do this on Spaces. So we figured, like, rather than just talk about it, we'd just rather show you. So let's get right into it, I guess. Okay. Chris, if you want to maybe talk a little bit about like why Bitcoin L1 and why Avalanche.
Yeah, so there's when it comes to bootstrapping, liquidity for a chain, you really can't go wrong with having, $500 million in Bitcoin sitting in a bridge, ready to just bridge over to, and that the Avalanche ecosystem at any moment. It's there, it's ready to go, it's in there. You can come in, you can use it. It's BTCB, and that's just a tremendously powerful thing to be building with. And BTCB, I felt in early on that in my Avalanche experience that it was underutilized, and throughout the years of building here, I realized that it's there's a lot of great DeFi and stuff going on C-Chain with BTCB, but there isn't a lot of apps being built around it and things like that. So I was thinking, how do we leverage this amazing thing that's going on C-Chain? So it came when I first learned about Avalanche L1s and how they operate with ICM, interchain messaging. The fact that you can essentially take a token that exists on C-Chain and use that as your gas token on your own custom L1, that was a very fascinating thing to understand when I got my head around it. And I thought, wow, wouldn't it be cool to have like a chain that's utilizes this Avalanche tech that has Bitcoin essentially as its gas token, and then being able to build out applications and things using that as its native token in its own chain, and taking advantage of like the speeds and the reliability, of the Avalanche L1 systems. So when it come down to that, I was already starting with learning ICM, participating in some of the programs that were going on, the Bounty 9000 and things like that. And I started really getting into it, and I was like, this would be kind of a neat project to do. So I think that when you have that much liquidity sitting there idle, and you have the technology that's sitting here ready to be deployed, take advantage of it, it only makes sense to start building as fast as you possibly can to take advantage of it. So the Avalanche tech really just it makes it possible, and makes it totally feasible, and actually makes it quite fun. It's been a lot of fun deploying this chain and deploying all the infrastructure and things behind it, and getting it ready for developers and users to come in and use it.
Yeah, this is one of the things that Chris and I talked about too. Is like with all the Etna upgrades that like everyone saw, like hashtag like 9,000, right? Like, so those are all the Etna upgrades. With all the Etna upgrades that rolled out in Q4 of last year, it really made all of this possible, because now you can launch a chain with whatever gas token you want. You can choose a security model that you want. And Chris and I think we met, what was it, at Consensus last year?
Yeah,
it
was Consensus last year.
Yeah, kind of kicked the idea around a little bit back then, and now it's all kind of come to fruition. And I think for us, it's like, this is the way I look at it. Like, if everybody saw, like, Professor Goon does a slide whenever he gives his presentations, and it says like, Bitcoin, when it first started, and it still is this way, it's one network, one asset. Ethereum, Solana, one network, multiple assets. Avalanche, multiple networks, multiple assets. what you can do with Avalanche is change that all around. You can make a Bitcoin network have multiple assets on it. So it's not just one network, one asset. Now we've got one network that interacts with all these other networks that we can program as many assets as we want, and users can program as many assets on you want as they want on an L1. So it's like, you get all the benefits of a proof of stake model. You get all the benefits of the Etna upgrades, all the benefits of the Octane upgrades. Like, it's super fast, it's super cheap, and you get to use Bitcoin, which is by far the most dominant, cryptocurrency. It's the one that started it all. So, you start out in 2009, people just stacking sats and like kind of wondering where this is all going to go, to having smart contracts roll out with Ethereum, to now being able to deploy a chain and get all the benefits of everything that's been built before this, and then use, the most dominant cryptocurrency, which is Bitcoin, as the native gas token. So we think there's a huge amount of power in being able to do that. The Bitcoin bridge, I think, has well over 5,000 Bitcoin parked on it. So obviously there's a demand to be able to do things with your Bitcoin natively. Chris and I both look kind of at the rest of the market. When you look at, as far as Bitcoin payments go, there's not a ton of competition. And so what's out there is already growing, like Lightning Network, for example. Chris, what were the numbers on the Lightning Network? It was as far as the growth rate goes, I think people are using Lightning more than.
Yeah. I mean, the Lightning Network's transactions are going 200% year on year.
Yeah.
People are using Lightning to send Bitcoin back and forth to each other all over the world.
And that's not even on chain. I'm pretty sure it's the calculus is done off chain, and then it's settled back on Bitcoin Network. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah, it's essentially an L2 in a sense, that way we would look at what a native L2 would look like on Bitcoin versus say Ethereum. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is not a dig into Lightning. I mean, I know what they're trying to do, but would you rather be able, to do something like that, or would you rather be able to have everything on chain, make it's faster, it's cheaper, you get all the benefits of blockchain tech, but then being able to do what you would do with Lightning Network. To me, it makes sense that something like this exists. And so that's what we built. What I'm showing you. Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, I was going to say, we were in Buenos Aires and we were having dinner and we were talking about, because, Candace and I were there for Codebase with Excova, and we had built basically a USDC at that point payment processor. And then we were kind of running that, explaining to Excel what we were doing there and how we were involved. And then we were talking about the Bitcoin L1 that we were kind of dreaming up as what we're going to do. And it just, at that point, it was it made sense to try to adapt a version of Excova to take on the Lightning Network. And Excel coined the phrase, it's faster than Lightning, because it is. And that was just that right there was a huge clicking moment for me. I was like, okay, now we have an agenda to do with this product we built for Excova. Could easily be ported to a new system, another system with another token. We have this chain that's it's going to get booted up. We have all these amazing opportunities with Avalanche and the ecosystem. And that was a big deal. That was so that would be October of last year. So things have went pretty fast, I think, since then.
Yeah, we've done all this since September, October of last year. We were waiting for the Etna upgrades before we kind of finally rolled things out, and it happened. And yeah, it's true. The chain is faster than Lightning. It's cheaper than Lightning, and you know what? It's all on chain. It's not it's being processed. It's not like the calculus is being done somewhere else and then settling back to C chain or something like that. I mean, this is all on its own blockchain. Guess what? It interacts with every other chain on AVAX. So
there's something to be said for all the stars being in alignment. The Etna upgrade happening, allowing Bitcoin L1, you two coming together with your synergy to foster and create Bitcoin L1, at the same time Excova being developed, and then these two things coming together, and having Satly as an onboarding tool for Bitcoin L1. So all of these stars had to be perfectly in alignment for this situation to happen, and it's really incredible to see. I remember that moment when Excel, you said faster than Lightning at the table, and we were all excited. We're talking about it. And then later in the conversation, you're like, oh, we really need a tagline for this. And I'm like, you just said it.
Yeah.
I had chills when you said it. It was brilliant.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So
very exciting stuff.
A little bit. I don't want to get into the weeds too much because I want to get into the actually showing you guys around. But Bitcoin will be the BTCB will be the gas token for the chain. There will be another token because it's going to be like a dual tokenomics, a dual token model for security. So we will reveal more of that as we go, but there will be like a TGE that happens, and once we go to mainnet. So what you're looking at here on the screen, this is the main page here. This is bitcoinl1.net. If you haven't done it yet, go to bitcoinl1.net. You can go ahead and enter your email address. You'll be put on an email list. There will be opportunities. We'll get into it some more, but there'll be opportunities for people who are interested in validating the chain. We want to take some of the creative ways of getting people involved in the community that can earn. We want to get that going pretty early on. So feel free to go to bitcoinl1.net, put your email address in, and we will be sending out information and correspondence about how you can become a validator for the chain.
Yeah, the most important thing to take away here from validating Bitcoin L1 is that every Bitcoin that exists on Bitcoin L1 is also, fully collateralized by the bridge. So if you're running a validator and you're earning BTC, gas rewards, that money, that Bitcoin can go right back out to the actual native Bitcoin network. So you are earning essentially, an asset that can be converted within a few moments back to native Bitcoin assets, which I think is a very powerful thing.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes back to like how much it makes sense. Like you can be a miner on proof of work for the Bitcoin network. It's in the same way that you can run a validator over here, and it's completely transferable. You can bounce back and forth in between chains. It's interoperable, and that bridge makes that possible. So, yeah, your native Bitcoin can come to and from Bitcoin L1. So yeah, go there, bitcoinl1.net, get your email address in there. And let me pull up. Chris, you want to show the, I guess the build.bitcoinl1?
Yeah, let's go through the build.bitcoinl1. So the bitcoinl1.net, we just described as a place that has a forum where, people can come who are interested in validating. Now, if you're a developer or you're interested in interacting with the chain and you also want to learn about Bitpoints, you want to go to build.bitcoinl1.net. And this is where we have some developer information. We have the faucet. You can see your Bitpoint status. There's information about how to reach the chain APIs and GraphQLs. We have some randomness, or we have a randomness oracle up and running now from a partner dev. And you can get directly to the real, like the technical documentation from here as well. So the most important thing to know about build.bitcoinl1.net is this is your gateway to accessing the chain. And we have built a faucet that doesn't require any gas. So you can connect your wallet to it. You can request tokens and they'll come right in your wallet immediately. Sets up your wallet to be, with the network and all that stuff. And then you can go off to the races. At that point, you can go and you can start interacting with the chain. You can, play with some of the apps that are on there. You can send tokens back and forth. And we'll get into all that in a moment. But build.bitcoinl1.net is where you want to go, where you want to start. And we're going to be expanding this site as we get, as we go, more richer documentation, maybe a partner directory, things like that. So keep an eye on it. And, I think like one of the most important things that's part of, the second most important thing about this site is the Bitpoints, which we'll get into in a moment.
Yeah, I set up a fresh wallet here just to show everyone. It's got a 24-hour timer on that. If you guys do need some extra Bitcoin because you're building something, just feel free to DM me or Chris.
Or Average Andy, he has a few Bitcoin.
Or Average Andy. He's been milking the faucet. Yeah. So here's the faucet, guys. Just connect your wallet to it. You'll be able to add. I use Core for this one, but you'll be able to. You can use any EVM wallet, and then you can pull some Bitcoin from here and get started messing around on the chain. You want to get into Bitpoint? We'll come back to Bitpoints. I wanted to go through and show the docs. But yeah, whether you're a builder, you're trying to use the chain for the first time and you need some testnet BTC, this is where you're going to do it. And that'll get us kind of right into the docs here, if you can see that.
Yeah, so the documentation is an export of all the chain information. currently up to date with all the contracts that are live for builders, RPCs, all basically the information that you need as a developer to interact with the chain. This is all critical information depending on what you're building. Most people here that are developers will come here and they'll likely be using the RPCs and the WebSocket URLs. But also we have, a host of contracts that are available: Teleporter, your balance fencer, your multi-calls. We have a Uniswap V2 DEX up and running, Vavalon, where you can trade and create liquidity and trade tokens back and forth. There's also a front end for that as well at dex.vavalon.com. The faucet, and there's a forwarder if you're going to build applications that have gasless functionality. In the coming weeks, we're going to be adding Bitcoin L1 to VM. We're also going to be deploying entry point contracts for smart wallets and account abstraction. And we're going to be deploying other utility contracts that will help developers build on the chain. One thing that's important to note is that we have partnered with ThirdWeb, and they have actually created their entire suite of products that have been deployed to the chain. So if you're a ThirdWeb developer or interested in learning how to develop, ThirdWeb is a great place to go, learn how to develop, learn how to interact. Yeah, there it is on the screen. So they also have a faucet as well. So there's three faucets. There's the faucet on Build, there's the faucet on ThirdWeb, and there's a third one we're going to show you in a moment. But ThirdWeb allows you to deploy NFT contracts, token contracts, marketplaces. They have a whole bunch of great, ready to go, audited contracts, and a whole SDK and framework for developing. So that's all fully integrated with Bitcoin L1 right now, which I think is a cool thing. We're going to be looking for other partners as well to bring on board with these tools.
Yeah, and I know we're kind of getting into it. This is kind of for the builders part of this stream, I guess, just so you guys can see what's available for you to mess around with. Here's our Block Explorer as well.
Yeah, so Block Explorer, we're seeing some tremendous growth as far as transactions are concerned. There's a lot of stuff happening on testnet right now. We've got a couple different apps running that are doing very well, and people are coming back on a daily basis, many times per day. Look, that was last reloaded at an hour ago, and there's already another 600 something transactions according to that. So we have a lot of activity on testnet. So if you come over to the Block Explorer, you can go and explore through the analytics and the statistics about what's happening on the chain. You can see all the activity on the chain. You can see the number of wallets, all the contracts. You can interact with the contracts if you want to connect to your wallet. There's a lot of good information on there to kind of really see, it kind of validates what I would say is how good of a job us as chain, custodians are doing in terms of getting growth on the chain. And it's all illustrated right there. So definitely go check that out, testnet.bitcoinl1.net. A lot of cool stuff in there to take a look at, and you can see how the growth so far has been fairly good up and to the right. So
up and to the right,
super happy about that.
Yeah. So every day we're getting more and more users, new account set up over here, which is good to see. Transaction count obviously growing over time. Yeah. So it's got everything that you need here to take a look around. And then over here as well, we do have the integration with Core app. So you can also request some testnet BTC as well over on Core.
Dee had asked in the comments, can you share the links to the faucets? So yes, we'll put them in the comment under the stream on X.
Yeah, we'll get those added to the docs too. In fact, I should add them to the site. So when you go to build.bitcoinl1.net, there's a link to the other two faucets. So we'll get that in there, and you'll see that in there after the stream's over.
Yeah, so this is the native faucet here, build.bitcoinl1.net. And then we'll go ahead and add them. But there's that one, and then there's the ThirdWeb. And then Core lets you get a little bit, like 0.001 or something like that. So yeah, for the builders out there, this is where you'll get started to get right into it. Let's talk about BitPoints, because it's important. You want to kind of kick that off?
Sure. So we have the BitPoints program scans the chain and logs all your data, all the stuff that you're doing on the chain, your interactions with the chain. So it's very easy because the chain is already, essentially, writing this data all it goes. But BitPoints is a system that keeps track of what your wallet's doing and assigns you points. It's sort of like what you see with Frosty metrics, right? And BitPoints are accumulated at different rates depending on the interaction. I would say that developer interaction is awarded pretty high, but then there's some consumer, like, user interactions that are also awarded pretty high. And it's essentially, it's basically real time. So as you're using the chain, your Bitcoins will continue to accrue. You can go back to build.bitcoinl1.net to see those Bitcoins and how many you've accrued. And you can also see your rank, and then you can actually share it on X with that little button right there. So you can post, this is how many Bitcoins I have, and also post a link to the build.bitcoinl1 site. Definitely a competitive environment. And maybe Excel, you want to touch on a little bit about why so?
Yeah, they're not, just this is like, I guess, the legal disclaimer. Like, obviously, there's no inherent value to Bitpoints. They are for promotional purposes. But what we're going to do with this leaderboard is Bitpoints will be a path forward to those who are interested in being a validator for mainnet when it goes live, and then potentially airdrops with once the TGE goes live. So we're trying to think of ways to make this fun and creative for people who want to obviously make money with the chain, or who want to take the responsibility of running a validator or two. So Bitpoints will be the way forward on that. So the more Bitpoints that you grind, which basically means the more that you use testnet, right? Even when we go to mainnet, there will be some period of time where Bitpoints are still a thing, because I think we'll initially launch as a proof of authority before we move into proof of stake. But Bitpoints are the way forward to becoming a validator on the chain and opening up airdrop potentials for once the token is launched. So that answered the question.
Yeah, that was awesome. It's the Bitpoints program, I think, is going to be something that people are going to use a lot. They're going to be, looking at ways to increase those numbers, figuring out what transactions, give you so many points and what don't. I think we're going to see some folks really get into this and trying to figure out like how they can earn more Bitcoins than the person that outranks them. And we intend to definitely be releasing more ways to earn Bitcoins over time as time goes and new things get deployed. It does automatically track contracts at the moment. So if you are a developer and you deploy a contract and you have users interacting with that contract, it will automatically start attributing that as a DApp and it'll assign points accordingly. So there's quite a bit of automation as to how it scans and how it applies. So I would encourage you as a developer, if you have like hot wallets and things like that, they will accumulate a lot of points very quickly. We really want to make sure that our developers are aware of the Bitcoin system. So if you have any questions, definitely hop in the Discord and we're happy to answer them.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of question, Will Dove just put one. He says, can points end up being transferred between wallets? He means Bitcoins.
So Bitcoins are off chain. It's an off chain points. So there's no transferring. They're non-transferable.
So you cannot game it that way, no.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to get too much into it, Chris, but we could talk a little bit about, I don't know. I think the way that I view this, I view this more as like people who are deploying to the chain are obviously going to be earning more Bitpoints. So you earn more Bitpoints, that gives you a path forward to be a validator for the chain. And so I kind of like the idea of when it comes time for validators to, go through the application process of validating the chain. It's kind of cool to think, well, these people also had some skin in the game because, they deployed to the chain early on and were able to test it out. So those people should be rewarded. So I kind of like the idea of those who are building also maybe taking some ownership in the chain as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And as a user of the chain, we're going to give plenty of opportunity to be competitive with developers in terms of accumulating Bitcoins. So, it's not going to be a fully developer focused program. So, and you definitely want to follow our accounts on Twitter and Arena. We're going to definitely be, giving away Bitcoins. We can arbitrarily give them away as, in prizes and things like that. Who knows? Maybe they'll even be embedded in merch, all sorts of possibilities out there. And of course, as we get into the next part of this broadcast, we'll kind of get into some of the most amazing ways that you can earn Bitcoins without actually having to, connect to the chain under normal means. So we'll get to that in a moment.
Yeah, that's perfect. One of those ways is to play Ferdy Flip. So I can pull up, shout out VQ and TAC.
Yeah.
who deployed Ferdy Flip to the chain. If you guys can see this here.
Bitcoin
Yeah,
Casino. How about that?
It was cool. I don't think that exists anywhere else, and it definitely, if it does, not at this level here. So you can see there's Avalanche, Fuji, and then obviously BTCL1. So I'm going to take the 0.01 BTC that I just got from the faucet. I guess we can do a coin flip. We can do a coin flip, so you guys can kind of see how it works here. So we'll just do one bet. Tails never fails, so we'll click that. And let's see if we can get one going. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
All right, cool. You know I got to flip until I win, so. Bet more, baby. Bet
You need
more.
to bet more.
Need to bet more. I want to get my martingale strategy going on. Tell VQ that the site's broken. Oh, there we go. Bam.
There you go. Boom.
Made it up.
Break even.
Made it all back in one trade. So
It's a lot of fun, really. I mean, there's a lot of great games out there, it's something you definitely need to check out. And this is an opportunity to go play and have fun, and and also earn, because like Excel said, you're earning as you're using Ferdy Flip. So
yeah, if you guys noticed a second ago, my bit points were I was at 2. I got 2 bit points for using the faucet at build.bitcoinl1.net. I just flipped a couple BTC, 0.001 BTC on Ferdy Flip. Now I've got 4 points, right? So, volume will also play a role in it as well. So yeah, bet more on Ferdy Flip, deploy something to the chain, use the faucet, send money around. That's how you're going to earn bit points. And then there's another way, which, drum roll, please. I think that's going to be Satly. So I want to talk about Satly right now. Chris, do you want me to keep sharing my screen, or do you want to screen share yours and go through it?
You want to go ahead? Yeah, you can go ahead and I can talk through it if you want.
Yeah, let's do that. So, all right, guys, introducing Satly, the future of Bitcoin payments. The website is satly.com. Let me go ahead and share this tab so you guys can see what it is. Can you see that?
There it is. Yeah,
okay.
We can see it.
Perfect. Okay. Satly's available, obviously, on mobile. It is available on your desktop. Right now, it's, I guess the public beta just started about 10 seconds ago when I introduced Satly.com. So this is an instance of Excova, which is Chris and Candace's payment processing application. Why don't you guys kind of get right into it and talk about what Excova is?
Go ahead, Candace. Why don't you take this one?
So Excova is consumer infrastructure for token economies, stablecoins, protocols. And in this example, you can see Excova running as a fully white label solution for BTCL1. Now, it looks different than the current beta that is up, which runs on USDC, which is fully abstracted. Obviously, when people are using sats to pay for things, they already know that they're using cryptocurrency. So it's actually, Chris has done a lot of really brilliant things as far as development is concerned here. Like, for example, because people will be buying things largely in sats because of the price of Bitcoin. Like if you were going to buy a cup of coffee, you're going to buy it in sats. You're not going to buy it in full BTC. And there's a lot of decimals there before the dollar amount that you would, be changing for value for your cup of coffee. So if you click on the B, it will actually convert it to show you how many sats that you have in your account.
Yeah.
By sats, I mean Satoshis.
Perfect. Yeah. So I've got, we don't envision everyone having one Bitcoin, right? That's actually, it's a lot of money. So people obviously use sats in the future. If you're not familiar with that, I always compare like $1 is a Bitcoin and cents are sats. So this is just a lesser denomination just to show you what your sats balance is. So 8.299 Bitcoin is, I guess, how many zeros are there?
There's more too, actually, beyond that. It cuts off at a certain point, but I mean, you can't expect to purchase a coffee with the Bitcoin main network, right? You're going to have to pay gas and fees and wait and time, and the coffee is going to be, extremely expensive. So Satly enables you to pay for things in Bitcoin right? By using small, very small denominations in a gasless environment. There's zero gas. No one pays gas. So, and there's no wallet. You don't need MetaMask. You don't need Core. It is in itself an application that issues you out an account, and that account can take in Bitcoin and USDC, and you can swap between them too. So everything you need to do is right there in the one.
Yeah. Can somebody? I want to show somebody. So can somebody drop their email address and let me send you some BTC, some testnet BTC. If you can drop an email address, let me know what it is. I will onboard you to Satly. You'll get some BitPoints from it too. So just feel free to drop an email address somewhere in the chat.
Yeah, so the primary means of sending and receiving Bitcoin on Satly is email, right? You can email tokens back and forth to each other. And in the future we'll have text message, but right now you can email tokens back and forth, and it's that easy. You can just send somebody, whatever you need to do. Also, you can scan QR codes at checkout. So if a merchant accepts Bitcoin, and they say they have a terminal at their store, and you walk in the store, you buy a coffee, they can show you a QR code to pay, so you can scan and pay it that way. You can, install plugins inside of Shopify and WooCommerce to enable the ability for your online e-commerce store to accept Bitcoin through Satly. And all of this stuff is all integrated. It's a full featured payments platform and remittance platform for businesses and consumers. And it all is powered by Bitcoin, and makes it very simple.
Yeah, guys. So Candace, do you see where someone gave me an email address?
Oh, yes, I will. Do you want me to?
Yeah, somebody feel free to just drop an email address somewhere in the chat or wherever.
Oh, you've got a bunch of them. So let me go ahead and send it to you. I'm gonna send it via Telegram. One moment.
Perfect. Yeah, send me a couple of them. I'll hook them up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, guys. So once you sign into this with your email address, like the wallet, everything is abstracted away. Just like whenever you guys use Arena for the first time and you're like, wow, it feels like you're using a Web2 product. It's the exact same feel here. You can actually send your crypto, you can send Bitcoin with an email address. So this first one, let me get it out here. Let me send you some Bitcoin. Send you 0.1 Bitcoin. Have fun on stream. Send. You're going to get an email from me with that deposit. You'll just rowdycamper85 at Outlook. So you're going to you'll get an email from me. You can just open that up, immediately log in, and you will have 0.1 Bitcoin waiting for you right there. Testnet Bitcoin. Then what you'll do is go back. Once you log in, you'll see it. You can refer a friend, and you'll be able to claim your own Bitcoin. So you'll be able to claim 50 Bitcoin. So you can see up here, your Bitcoin balance will go up. Mine just went up from sending you that Bitcoin. So your account balance will go up for Bitpoints. At some point in the future, by the way, the Satly Bitpoints that you earn and then the other ones that you earn from using the chain, they will be combined. So I know Will Dev was asking like, oh, well, am I going to be able to, have multiple wallets? Well, I think Chris, and we'll talk. I mean, people are deploying contracts and stuff under different wallets to the chain. That obviously brings a lot of value. So, I mean, there could possibly be a way to merge some of these wallets together. We just have to find a way to do it to make sense where people don't game the system.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Yeah. So let me see.
So the earning every single interaction on Satly earns you Bitpoints. So the first thing when you first sign up, if you sign up from a referral code, then you're going to get 5, and the person who referred you is going to get 5. Now you can also claim your first 50 Bitpoints. There's a little call to action on the home screen when you first log in. It says claim your first 50 Bitcoins. So you can actually get up to 55 Bitcoins if you get referred and you click the call to action. Now, looks like you got a double thing here. So yeah, so and then every interaction that you have with with the app accrues more, and it's in real time. So you definitely can keep track as you go. And we're going to also launch a leaderboard within Satly that tells you like where you stand against other Satly users as far as accumulating points. If you expand that one Excel, there's a little arrow on the homepage.
Yeah, let me send a couple more of
Send
these
it in
out.
Bitcoin.
Yep, have fun on stream.
Everybody's getting Bitcoin.
Everybody's getting Bitcoin. That was right. I got a couple more. I got 2 more.
Nice.
Have fun on stream. And go figure this guy. You'll see who it is. Okay. This guy doesn't have enough.
I know it. He's got more Bitcoin than I do. I'm testing that. It's unbelievable, actually.
And you know what actually will be cool? Let me do this real quick. Let me try something. If you guys are watching this on, let me just pull up the QR code.
Yeah, there you go.
If you guys want to scan this right now, I'll leave this up here for a minute. You'll get 5 bit points if you sign up that way as well. So just to show you, there's more than one way to onboard your friends. I know for me personally, when I first got into crypto, the very first transaction that I got, swear to God, this is when Bitcoin was $550 a coin. I had a buddy at the bar make me set up a Coinbase account. I had to go through all the process of setting up. And then he sent me $5 worth of Bitcoin. You don't have to set up a wallet. You don't have to set up all that. You literally just put your email address in, or you just show your QR code to a friend, and then immediately they put their username in, their email address in, and they're ready to go. The wallet automatically gets built. It's done behind the scene. And I'm going to leave this up here for another 10 or 15 seconds. But everything's abstracted away. So it feels like you're using a Venmo or a Cash App even. That's how fast it is. And this is all done on chain too, by the way. So you'll be able to go back and verify things on chain. Okay, I'm going to take this down now. Hopefully you guys got a chance to scan that. And if you see down here, well, let me finish kind of walking through this home screen. So once you guys log in for the first time, you'll be able to claim your BitPoints. You will can obviously pay, show your QR code. You have a referral link that you can send by text message as well. If you want to request money from people, you can do that. So you can go do a new request, and you can set an expiration date on that, and you can request by email. Type in the person's email address who you want to send the Bitcoin. You can generate a link for that. You can share on all of these different apps. You could also do a QR code requesting money. So say somebody owes you, $50, you can denominate that in sats as well. So that's how that works.
Yeah, and if they don't have an account, they'll
Right.
get an email saying that, a payment request, and they'll click the link, and they'll enter their email, and it'll immediately set up an account for them, and they can immediately use one of the on and off ramp providers to bring in Bitcoin and then pay the request. So it's very smooth for a user who's never used Satly before to be able to make a payment, and vice versa. In terms of payments, if you're sending a payment to someone and they don't have a Satly account, as soon as they get the account and as soon as they log in, the balance shows in their account. It's instant. It's all on chain.
Exactly. That's how it works, guys. That's how easy it is. So you can send and request money easily while onboarding your friends easily. It's not complicated. If you have an email address, you can literally set this up in probably less than 15 seconds. That's how easy it is. That's requests. So top up. This is something that Chris and I are going to be working on here. Say you want to add from a centralized exchange or a bridge or something like that. There'll be a Bitcoin on-ramp. Obviously, MoonPay. Be able to bridge over from your favorite exchanges. Coinbase these are just all things that are kind of coming soon. So you'll be able to bridge directly into your deposit directly into your account. Obviously, this opens up the possibility to include other tokens on here as well, since we do have a swap feature planned for the future. So you'll be able to swap to other tokens as well here, right? So.
Yeah, and if you've come into Satly as a new user and you need some tokens to experiment with, you can go back to the top up page, and you can select the faucet. There's a faucet selection option right in there. And that way it'll give you once a day, you can claim some tokens from there, and you'll get tokens in your account. So that's your way in. And you can also, if you want to test out the withdrawal functionality, you can also go to withdraw, and you can withdraw tokens back to the faucet, so you can see how that works.
Yeah.
So you full circle with everything is in there.
Yeah. So this top up here points you back to the Bitcoin L1 faucet, which is nice if you're just playing around with it. Yeah, that's that. Obviously, there's plans in the future. We want to make Bitcoin not only bridgeable natively from Bitcoin network to any other chain or EVM chain, to and from. We also think that Bitcoin should be a place like you should be able to take your Bitcoin to different chains and be able to earn yield on it, which is something that you can't do natively on the Bitcoin network either. So yeah, this option here is available. Let's see. This might be my internet. Can you hear me, Chris?
Yeah, it was stuttering for a second there.
Yeah, my internet might be something going on with it.
You want to switch?
Yeah, I'm having trouble with Ferdy Flip as well. Of course, we might also be getting some extra traffic to the site. I don't know. Yeah, something going on with my internet. Yeah, I wanted to show account, and this is not working exactly. Yeah.
Oh, let me just mention to Crypto Nick that he says that he withdrew BTC, but it didn't know where it went to. If you withdrew it right now, because you don't have any on or off ramps set up because we haven't opened that up yet during the beta, it just withdraws it to the faucet. So in 24 hours, you'll be able to go back and just re-top up your account from that faucet.
Oh, actually, you know what happened? Bullish breaking has happened.
That's what I'm saying. Bullish breaking.
Yeah, our database might be getting a little crushed at the moment. Let's take a look.
You guys are
fantastic.
Freaking awesome. Thank you guys for breaking the app. That means you guys are checking it out. So that's great. That being said, I really would like to be able to get into this and show.
Yeah, 1 second.
Yeah, about BitPoints. Earn BitPoints using Satly. Are you deving on this call right now?
What's that?
He's been known to do that, yes.
You deving?
No, I'm not. I'm actually looking at the server to see why our database server is overloaded at the moment. We probably need to make a little bit of an upgrade there.
Yeah, bullish breaking.
Yeah. How about that?
Okay, so earn BitPoints using Satly. Stack BitPoints while you interact. Send Bitcoin to your friends and both earn Bitcoins and points never expire. For those of you that are just joining in, you'll be able to earn BitPoints for Satly. You'll be able to earn BitPoints by using Bitcoin L1, either as a developer or a user. Those BitPoints are your surefire way to be considered to be a validator for the chain once the chain goes to proof of stake. Right now, we're currently on testnet, kind of getting all of our affairs in order before we decide to go to mainnet and issue the other token.
You can do a refresh now. I bumped the database up. There you go. Yeah, we literally ran out of. We must be getting people hammering because we literally ran out of processing units.
You guys are beasts. Everybody on the call is a beast. Okay, so yeah, I walked through the pay request, top up. You'll be able to swap between USDC and Bitcoin here. We will be integrating other DeFi protocols into Satly, so that if you have it, you'll be able, if you're using Satly, you'll just be able to easily stake your Bitcoin. You'll be able to delegate your Bitcoin to validators. This will basically be the outward facing, UI for Bitcoin L1. You'll be able to go into your account here. There's apps that will vet. Let's see here. Yeah, there's your withdraw, swap to BTC. Yeah, go to the profile here. Yeah, so profile. If you'll see on your profile, this is your account number. That's your wallet right there. So if you wanted to send, say like you had a different wallet that you were using to do something, and you want to send, like you hit the faucet with one wallet, you're like, okay, I want to send it to another wallet. That's where you would find your Satly wallet. What else? You can set notifications. 2FA, I believe, is on here, right? For security.
Not right now, not on beta, but that will be enabled for production. So 2FA is coming. Notifications are coming. We're going to be doing 2FA with text message. So you essentially would be, you'd log in with your email, and then 2FA would be getting a text, which I think is highly recommended. And we're also going to do PIN codes for transactions if you want to do that. You can actually set a PIN code in order to have to put that in before the transaction is submitted.
Oh, so this is actually a really good segue. Nibbles asked, "Can I play games on Satly?" So it'd be awesome to talk about the the app functionality.
Yeah, so you guys can kind of see how this is all going to play out. Like you'll be able to go in here. You're immediately on the L1 using it, and then for demo purposes, like the whole goal is like if you find a place that accepts payment with Bitcoin, you'll be able to pay your bills right here using your Bitcoin. You can set up, add custom bills to your app store. This will kind of be like I said, kind of like your gateway to the chain. Be able to set up a savings account, make deposit, transfer funds. You'll be able to look at other crypto that you can buy or stocks. So more than just crypto, it's kind of like a lifestyle app. And you can see you got like Hoppers, Emoji Crushed. Here's Ferdy Flip. Take you right out there.
So we tend to have the ability for developers to build apps within the Satly application. So essentially, like Ferdy Flip can run within Satly, so users you don't have to leave the application to use it, and it connects directly with your balance. So that way you can use it without having to go there. These example apps, the top four, and essentially are just examples of what developers could build and bring to the table, or we may actually end up deploying some of these apps. The games, of course, can earn Bitcoin playing the games, whatnot.
I'm sorry, I missed. Okay.
And that's cool. And then, of course, our first two partner apps are the Small Run Games, which is the Cars 404 game that XRP has put together, and it's running on BTCL1. And of course, we've seen Ferdy Flip. We also intend to have the ability for folks to log in at those apps directly on those apps with the Satly wallet as well. So you don't necessarily even have to do it from within Satly. You could go to those apps directly, log in, and use your Satly balance. So the idea is this full circle connectivity with your wallet wherever you need it, wherever you are. As long as the developers support it, it works.
This is a really exciting thing for developers because, they can develop with Bitcoin, which is just in itself, programmable Bitcoin is extremely exciting. But two, they can also create applications for a brand new audience, which are people who have never touched crypto before, because it's just so easy to onboard people into the system. So we're helping devs connect with a large and new untapped audience, as well as with Bitcoin L1, giving them the ability to program on Bitcoin. So these two things together, and then also this partner directory could be infinitely scalable. I mean, many hundreds or thousands of devs could create things on the chain, and then people can browse for them here. So that's very exciting. It means that Satly is more than just a payment app. It's like an ecosystem.
Yeah, this can lead you out. To me, it kind of makes sense, and I'm just kind of shooting from the hip here, but it kind of makes sense. Like my thought process is you build something for Satly and you're building it on Bitcoin L1. It's like you might as well plug it into the front end, right? So it's like, much in the same way that I feel like Core App, I think, did a really good job after they launched, at least for the first few months, of keeping it up to date with, the different projects that are available on C-Chain and things like that. I feel like Satly can be the same way. As a developer, for example, like VQ and TAC deploy FerdyFlip here, right here. XRP Ant deployed Small Run here. Here it is. So it's like you're in a place where people have their wallet available. They can refer friends. They can onboard new people. They can earn BitPoints at the same time. And guess what? Your app that you deploy to the chain is like right in their face once they go to the App Store. So this opens up the opportunity for, as a developer, for people to have access to your whatever you've built, right? So do you want to add anything to that, Chris, or does that kind of hit it on the head?
No, that hits it perfectly. I'm just, I was actually watching the database for a second here because I see it getting absolutely hammered. It's good to see.
Here's Satly, like stores. Obviously, if you have a Shopify account, like we can tie all of that back into this. So that's the whole end goal. That's it. I'll pull the QR code up here for anybody that's joined in. You can set your account up just by scanning your QR code with your phone. It's available on mobile. I saw there was like a new, where did I see that? There was like some rule got changed by Apple where they were like, we're not going to hold up crypto apps any longer. Is there any intention to make this into like an app that you could get in iOS?
I think so. I think that that's totally possible. And I think that right there, that news is really the crux, right? Like being able to bring on-ramping and off-ramping crypto to an app without having to pay those fees, and also allowing transactions to happen within the app without having to pay the fees is a big deal. And the fees might be still there, but the fact that right now you can't even do it at all is kind of a blocking issue. So like this news of this happening is a big deal. We're looking forward to that. And I think there is a future where we have, Excova instances like Satly having their own custom branded apps using the system. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. When I open up like my, when I open up like the finance folder on my iPhone, right? Like I've got Coinbase, I've got Discord, Telegram X, CoinGecko, TradingView, like Arena. I've got everything right there. Like I could see a situation where Satly could be in there as well. So
yeah.
You would have access to all your Bitcoin and the chain right there in your phone. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add. I hope that the audience, I hope you guys just love the fact that this is out there now, that you guys can play around with it. Some of the people who have already tested it have had some really cool ideas to add to it. So if you have any good ideas about things that you would like to see on an app like this, please go to report a bug, or please DM Chris or I or Candace, and we take all feedback seriously, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, we have discord.excova.com has a channel for Bitcoin L1 in there for now to kind of field any questions or support issues that you might have with using Bitcoin L1 or Satly. So come hang out in there. It was formerly the MetaPep Discord. Super important. So over on the lower right-hand corner of Satly, you'll see a little button that says report a bug. And this is actually really cool. Like if you see something, and this isn't just for bugs, actually you should probably say something a little differently, but you have a suggestion and you're like, hey, I want this to be like this, or I think this could be like that, or this did not work. Especially if something breaks, submit that form on that page and we get all the information necessary to help debug and try to figure out how to fix it. So really, really important. If you're on desktop, you can also use send a screenshot too. So if that's handy to send a screenshot as illustrating maybe the point you're trying to make, or show more information about what's happening on the screen, go ahead and click add a screenshot and we'll get that as well. So love this tool, love this feature. People are using it. People are submitting, for suggestions and comments. And as we even just get a comment that says, hey, this looks amazing. So it's, it is a direct channel to me in Excel, so we'll take every single request taken very seriously. And we just want to hear feedback as much as possible from people using it. This beta period at the moment right now is extremely important. When we first did a beta for the first version of Excova, we had a lot of users coming in and submitting tons of transactions, and we collected an enormous amount of data on how people use the application. And now we're seeing a lot of that came through in the deployment of the second tenant, which is Satly. And a lot of the stuff that I've improved in the UI and the UX and the systems in the background has translated from that first beta into actual results. So as you guys use the app and provide feedback and information, it will absolutely be used on the next iteration, the next version, to enhance, whatever functionality that might need to be enhanced, or of course fix any bugs that need to be fixed.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll post links to the faucet on the Twitter account, which is BTCL1net, and we will put. I guess we can put up a QR code or a link to Satli. It's just satli.com, and that should be enough to get you started with the faucet. I could probably reshare. I can probably just do another tweet with just to the Git repo, to the faucet, to the Explorer, so you guys can kind of get back into it. What else? What else, Chris? We will have a presence over at Summit. So we're one of the co-sponsors at Summit. We're going to have merch out there. We'll have a place for you to sign up with Satli if you don't do it before then. We'll have an ice cream truck, so you guys can buy ice cream from us as well and ask us questions about the chain. We'll probably do another one of these streams or spaces here in the next couple months as we get ready to move into mainnet. And I think for right now, this is good. We just appreciate you guys' feedback. Try the chain out, build something on it, use Satli. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Tell us what you would want to see. And we'll keep working for you guys to try to build the best product that we can for Bitcoin.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming today and watching this. Really appreciate it. We're going to post the videos up on the social channels. So likes and retweets and comments are always very appreciated. And really amazing turnout. Appreciate you guys coming.
Thank you all.
Okay, guys. Talk to you soon. See you guys at Summit.